Okay, right. There are some technical difficulty there, and I have lost all my connection all of a sudden. So I'm just restarting right here and hoping that people will be able to rejoin me. Let's see what happened there. It's strange that my connection is completely off. So I'm just not sure whether you guys can still hear or see me. Let me just see if I can actually go back to... Right, let's see. Okay, right. Oh, have I got anything? Nope. Oh, hello. So finally some people coming over. Hi there. And I'm just still waiting for a few people to come back here. Sorry I lost my stream earlier, and it was just a little bit abrupt, so I'm just trying to resume if I can. And unfortunately I have to do a lot of clicking at the moment. Looks like that we are back again. So right, I'm just waiting for a few more people. I can't see Rod though. Rod may have disappeared. Right. Okay, let me see if Rod can rejoin. And so, everybody who may be listening earlier, and just want to hear your thoughts about Michael Falter in general. If you can let me know, we're going to have a little chat about that, and whether you agree with what we talked about, Michael Falter in generals, and also between Ohm System and Panasonic. You know, whether the way forward is what we are hoping to see, or whether they have made any mistakes in the past. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how you feel about the whole general things altogether. Because last thing we want is, you know, to see the platform disappearing, or also, you know, the market is dominated by only one or two players. Because choice is always good, for especially for photographers or any consumers in general. You know, you don't want to have just one or two brands, you know, basically dictating what you can or cannot have. So having choices is always a good thing. So just like how I miss the old times, you know, when we used to see Pentax, you know, the Minolta, Canon, Nikon, you know, all these different brands, Contax and Yashica, all the different brands out there. And but slowly you can see that some of these brands are disappearing, and I just don't want to see another one go. So we just have to see. Oh, hang on, I think Rod is trying to join, but he can't join me. So let me just see. Wait for host message. Okay. Right, let me just, sorry about that, I'm just trying to see if I can send Rod another link. So Chuck is saying, and it's worth focusing on lightweight and unique lenses, and I'm not sure the 1.2 is the future. Right. Interesting though, because I do like the 1.2 lenses. They are my workhorse lenses, and but I guess you're probably agreeing what Rod was saying about tiny lenses and earlier in the stream, and I do agree to a certain extent. Those tiny lenses are the strength of Michael Four Third, and in fact I do love them. And it's really nice to see like Ohm System finally responding to our request by launching the 17 and the 25mm 1.8 premium lens in full weather seal fashion. So that is very, very good thing to see from them. It's just really good to finally see some actions there, and I'm hoping they're going to continue updating the rest of them, you know, like the 45 1.8, maybe the 12 f2. I love the f2 12 millimeters, but again, you know, like it's not weather seal, so as much as I like it, it just doesn't have that a capability if I want to shoot in the rain, for instance, or take it to travel. Because every time I go traveling, I just want to prepare for the worst. So I always take weather seal lenses. And before the new 17 and 25 arrived, I have to take the Pro lenses because they are the only one that are weather sealed. So this is kind of my 2 cents. If OM system can update the range of 1.8 or the small prime lenses, I will be very happy to continue with that. And just got a message from Rod. He's still having trouble, and I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened here and why. So let's see if I can bring in another method for Rod to join the conversation again. Just 1 second. Right. Okay. Okay, try this link again. Different one. Okay. Right, okay, so let's continue our conversations here. So let's see what else you guys are seeing. So it's not the Canon PowerShot. Right. The new Canon PowerShot is a very capable micro four third. It has a similar size 4/3 sensor in the camera. It's not technically the same dimension as a 4/3 sensor. I think it's slightly different aspect ratio. So you know that the micro 4/3 sensors are all 4:3 ratios, and in terms of the sensor size, I think the PowerShot is slightly different. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that I read something about the sensor. It's not exactly the same ratio. So it's just going to be very, very interesting to see exactly what goes into. But it is a similar size sensor, has similar sort of performance. I think the only downside I see that the PowerShot has is the maximum apertures is restricted to 2.8. So I would potentially like it to be f2 minimum, and it doesn't need to be 1.8 or 1.4 or even 1.2, because that would make the whole compact system, compact camera, looks a lot bigger than it is. But having an f2, I can live with a slightly bigger bulk, but you got just a little bit better low light performance, and also just a little bit more of a big sensor look into the video, because this is essentially a vlogging camera, right? So this is going to be a very, very interesting to see whether the PowerShot will sell well or not. Okay, right. Rod cannot join me. There is still a technical problem there, and so I just probably think that he won't be able to join us for the rest of the talk today, and so it's going to be a premature ending for Rod. And sorry, Rod, if you're hearing at the moment, I don't know how to fix this at the moment in time without restarting the app. So so if I restart the app, I will lose everything again. So I probably we'll have to stick with this for now, and to have the next 10 minutes with you guys, just to conclude today's chat, have a little bit of a conversation with you lot about your feeling about Micro Four Third, and also your comments about it. So let's see. Yumi is saying that we need the 75 1.8 Mark II weather seal. Like I said, I think OM system should continue to update all their prime lenses, at least all the non-pro lenses, make them all weather seal. I think that will be really, really cool, and that would definitely make me want to buy them again. And because as great as they were, all these older prime lenses, but like I said, every time I go out, if I want a small system, I couldn't at the time. Not until the new 17 and 25 came about. I have to take all the pro lenses, which is bigger, heavier, bulkier, and it's not technically, what I wanted as a travel system. I do love to use the 1.2 lenses, the pro lenses, for professional jobs. I do, and I do like them. And but when it comes to small size, lightweight, nothing can beat these little prime lenses. And the 75 1.8 is brilliant. It's small, and then it is just a brilliant medium tele lens for portraits or sports photography even. And so it's a great lens. I think for the price it's right as well. And if it's weather seal, oh my god, that is going to be one heck of a lens. So maybe even update the aperture to 1.4. That will be even cool. Yeah, even cooler. So Rod, just say goodbye to you guys, and because he can't join me, so I guess that we have to see him next time in our next chat. Hopefully next time we don't have the same problem. And I think it's just a one-off. It's nothing to do with my app. I think my internet connection just went, and unfortunately I can't reconnect, and that's the problem there. And somehow I managed to restart the stream again. I can't bring him back. So sorry, Rod. I will see you all next time. And let's see what else we have here. Okay, Eric, EM5 Mark 1, not the OM5 Mark 1. Okay, you just talking about your earlier comment, right? So who else uses multiple platforms? You know, I know most of you are obviously listening right now are the Micro Four Thirds users. How many of you use more than Micro Four Thirds? I would like to hear from you as well, and what your thoughts about using multiple platform side by side. You know, and I personally have no problem with that, because you all know that I already have full frame cameras from Nikon and Leica. I also have APS-C camera from Fujifilm and Nikon, and so I have no problem using different format and different cameras at any given time. I got used to it now. I still use a lot of my Micro Four Thirds stuff. You know, I just recently been to Malaga and back to Japan. Remember earlier this year, I took the OM3 with me, and still it's my default and preferred system to use whenever I travel. So this is still kind of my kind of personal choice when it comes to travel photography and even street photography for that matter. Other system is just as capable as they are. It's just a little bit bulkier. It just doesn't suit my style of moving around or doing long walks and hikes, and it's just a little bit too heavy. Even though I don't use or own any massive huge long lenses for either the full frame or APS-C sensors, and it's just the way I shoot. Okay, and Ezekiel just say that you like your GM1. I love the GM1 as well. GM1 is one of my favorite little camera, and I still have it. I still have one. There we go. That's the GM1 with my little Olympus pancake lens. I did have the Panasonic version, but my Panasonic pancake lens is broken, so that is gone to the bin already, because the zoom ring has come off. Even though the lens still works, but I can't fix it. I don't want to super glue it back, and it might not work somehow. So I have too many Micro Four Thirds lenses anyway, so I just use the Olympus one, but that works. Okay, here we go. I'm very happy by selling FF Boke and got the OM3. Really, all I need is a level of knowledge and actual time to do photography. This is the thing, right? Photography is photography. It's all about image making. It's less so about the gear that we use. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, if you follow many of the photography channel, will tell you exactly the same thing, even though we all may have a preferred choice of equipment. But ultimately, we are looking at image making. We are looking at photography as photography, and about reading the light, about the composition, about the execution, about storytelling, about the art creation. If you look at all these words that I just said, nothing to do with the camera, right? You know, if you've got like something that can capture the image, and that's it. That's all you need. So I think that anything that makes you happy, anything that makes you feel fluent when it comes to operations, anything that makes your hands feel good, then that's the camera for you. There's no right or wrong answers out there. Like I said, I prefer to use my OM3 for this year. It's for that same fact, for that same very fact. I mean, I love using it because it just makes me happy every time I shoot it. And if you like to use your Sony, Canon, or Nikon, that's fine too. You know, ultimately we are all photographers, so we are looking at images, and as long as you get a great shot and then you get a smile out of it, That's all you need. Okay, and let's see what else in here. Tony is saying, I'm all in on Micro Four Thirds. Just purchased the Panasonic 200 f2.8. Oh my god, that is a great lens. I'm tempted to get one myself, and to be quite honest, because this is a lens that Olympus and Ohm System don't make. You know, they don't have a 200 prime. They have the 300 prime, which is f4, and then they have the 40 to 150 f2.8. Right, but just not 200 2.8. But the problem for me is, as great as the 200 f2.8 is, if I want to use any tele converters, I will have to basically get a Panasonic teleconverters to use it. I can't use the Olympus or Ohm System teleconverters and use it with the Panasonic 200 2.8. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So it's just a little bit tricky for me. Even though I have teleconverters for Ohm's Olympus lenses, I just can't use them on the Panasonic lenses. So yeah, I mean, I like to get one, but that means I have to get another set of teleconverters, which is something that I'm not quite sure that I would at this moment in time. Yeah, but it is a great lens. It's a great lens. It's sharp. It's fast. You know, I love it when I was reviewing it. It's just a brilliant lens. Angela, why there are no wide angle prime lenses on Micro Four that equivalent to full frame f 14mm or 16? Only Laowa has a 9 but no AF. Panasonic, well, Panasonic Leica had a 9mm AF 1.7, and that is the widest rectilinear ultra wide angle AF lens for Micro Four Thirds system. Olympus had the 8mm fisheye AF lens. You can de-fisheye it in the camera or in post if you want to, and use it as an 8mm, but you do lose some pixel from it because you have to squash it back and things like that. And so we do have something, but just not as wide as, you know, the 14. And yeah, I wonder why. And I also wanted to see either Panasonic or Ohm System to make an ultra wide that's equivalent to, like you said, 14 or maybe even 12mm with AF, because Laowa does have the 6mm. Remember that I really love. The 6mm is equivalent to 12mm in full frame angular view, so that is brilliant. And I just wanted to see something like that from either camps. You know, I just want to see a ultra wide AF lens for travel, you know, and even vlogging, because the 6mm is great for vlogging because it's so wide that you just, you know, you can basically have a half body coverage with an arm length. So that is a brilliant lens. In fact, I do like the Panasonic 9mm as well, which I also have. I have an old Olympus E400, and sometimes I bring it with the 14 to 35 f2 together with the OM1 with an adapter, so I can make some photos with both cameras. CCD sensor is fun sometime. Talk about CCD sensors. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with CCD sensors. I mean, I do currently have two cameras that has CCD sensors in it. One is the Pentax K100D. Yes, I still have a K100D, and that's an ancient camera. The reason I have it and still have it is because it's a special camera. It was a limited edition. I think it's only 500 in the world, and I have one of them. So I just don't want to sell that. It's kind of like a collection piece. And the other camera that has CCD sensors is the Epson RD1 rangefinder cameras. And that camera is special. People who know the Epson RD1 will know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's another very rare and collectible cameras, but I do use it. But like you said, like what you just said about CCD, is that CCD sensor does have some unique look to it, and I think just to do with the saturations and also the lack of dynamic range that kind of give you that aesthetic that you can't mimic with any sort of CMOS sensor that we have to date, which is kind of interesting because to me they do look like some of these positive films that we used to shoot with during the analog time. I do see that, I do appreciate it, and in fact, like you said, it's pretty fun sometimes to shoot with a CCD sensor because it does give you that unique aesthetic that you can't get with modern digital cameras. Let's see what else in here. Digitally, I only have Micro Four Third. Another system, I have the 35mm film cameras from Minolta. Oh, you are a Minolta user. Okay, I do have a Minolta Dynix 9 a camera just right above here, my shelf up there. It's a brilliant camera. My brother loves Minolta cameras. In fact, he has several Minolta cameras as well. All film, of course, you know, because they only released one digital DSLR back then before it was bought by Sony. So yeah, that was really is the only digital camera you can get, I think, at the time. So yeah, it's fine, you know, and people who still film is still very, very good medium to shoot with, as long as you can afford those film and processing costs, because they are so expensive these days. Ezekiel is saying that I love this ZF, to be honest, but my shoulder hurts just carrying it. That's right. You are very right there, because I actually do think the ZF is quite heavy. I use it quite often, actually, and I do find it quite heavy to carry around. This is why I don't really use it for travel, because it's just how heavy it is and how it may not look it, but it's quite bulky as well. So if you use a slightly bigger lens, you know, it just doesn't fit my bag anymore. At the moment, I usually use the Viltrox 50mm f2 because it's a very compact lens which fits quite well with the ZF. I know I can use the Nikkor 40mm f2 or the 28 2.0, which is kind of like the retro thing that they do for the ZF. But I prefer to use the Viltrox 50 because it's a 50. I just prefer that focal length just a little bit more than the 40, and also the 28. It just, yeah, not particularly sharp. So I just prefer to use other 28mm if I want to use that focal length. So the ZF, I tend to just mount the 50 on f2 from Viltrox and I call it a day, because that together, the combination of it is fairly relatively lightweight and relatively portable. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, 22.8, that's a bold choice. Would definitely like to try one. Like I said, it is a good lens. I did review it, so if you want to see my review, just go into my channel and search for the Panasonic Leica 200mm 2.8. I really genuinely impressed with the lens quality and also the performance of it. And like I said, it's very unique because, well, Olympus/OM System don't make one of them, so so that's a very unique proposition if you want to have a 200mm with a very fast 2.8 aperture, and that will be the only choice. And it builds like a Leica lens too, which is another bonus. Yeah, that's a great lens, right? So Tony saying they looked at the Olympus 300mm but thought it might be too long, and I already have the 40-150 2.8 and the 1.4 teleconverter. Right, yeah, the 300mm is a great lens. It's very, very sharp, but I wished it would be a 2.8. I know f4 keep the size small, that's why I never bought one, and I just prefer to use the 40-150 2.8. Because if I stuck a 2x converter, I'll make it 300, and it's only ever so slightly slower at 5.6 compared to f4. So it's not that much of a difference. I know it's not going to be as quick to shoot compared to the dedicated prime 300 f4, but it's just the flexibility there I have. And also, if I wanted to have 2.8, and if I don't need that range, I have the ability to do so just by removing the teleconverters. But what I want to see from OM System next is maybe some other fast prime lenses, the Tele-N. Yeah, maybe we bring back the good old days, the 150mm f2 from the 4th era, right? That is a brilliant, brilliant lens. I would like to see it resurrected for the mirrorless technology. So that will be something that I want to see, because now we're increasingly seeing full frame lens makers making f2 lenses now. They're saying that, oh, we are the first and the fastest, but don't forget that Olympus actually did make these f2 zoom lenses way back during the 4th era. So for people who forgot about them, well, there you go. The whatever you're seeing lately from Sony and Canon and Nikon, they're not the first. Olympus was first. Okay, and let's go on. Let's see then. So what's better than a GM1 with a tilty screen? Oh, I don't know. You know, nothing, like, to be quite honest, this is still the smallest, right? This is still the smallest camera or Micro Four Thirds camera to date. Nothing beats the size of it. It's just so tiny and small. I love it. I love it because it's so small, and I love it because it can be a point and shoot camera, right? It is a size of a point and shoot camera. It's barely bigger than the Sony RX100 series, which has a 1-inch sensor, and this is a 4/3 sensor, so it's a lot bigger to start with, and it has the ability to change lenses, so that's good, right? So yeah, I don't know whether anything will be better than the GM1, even if it has a tilted screen. I just like this small size, and so that will be my second camera if I'm going out and about. How funny how the GM1 looks like a smaller S9. Well, in fact, the S9 I think draw a lot of inspiration from the GM1. They really hope it. I think Panasonic really hope the S9 would have the same effect to photographers like when they launched the GM1. But to me, I think the S9 just had too much of a compromise, and compared to, you know, then the GM1, that it literally has the same feature set. It just have the bigger full frame sensor, and also has obviously the a much better AF performance because of the hybrid AF system. But other than that, it's very, very much the same. It's got no IBIS. It's got very basic feature sets. It's still a square block. It's still a little bit bigger than the GM1, of course. Nothing can compare to the size of GM1 because, you know, it's physics once again. If you look at the GM1, this sensor, a full frame sensor, will literally cover half the body. I'm not joking. This is that small. So it's just something that I think that Lumix can never reproduce unless they really make another GM1 again. Even the GM5 was bigger than GM1, right? So the GM1 is still the crown when it's the when you talk about the smallest Micro Four Thirds camera to date, and nothing can beat it. That's why I have one, because I want everything either the best or the smallest or the prettiest. Yeah, that's it. That's why I collect cameras. Okay, and let's see, anything. I just did pick up a Per Gear 25 1.7 so far. It's been great fun to play with. I love manual lenses. I do. I shoot a lot of manual lenses because I still use manual lenses a lot on my Leica and all the other systems that I use via adapters. Lately, well, at the moment, I'm actually testing the Typok 28mm 1.4. That's a great lens. So you should see my review coming up soon. I also bought the Voigtlander 28mm f1.5 vintage line, the Mark II version, the Type 2. So I'm testing that one as well at the same time. And so yeah, you're gonna see those videos very soon, because they're all manual lenses, all work with Leica, and also via adapter on the OM system, and also any sort of platform. In fact, you might have seen the video that I walked with, did the photo walk with Peter Forsgard. I was using the Voigtlander 28mm f1.5 lens during the video. So all the images that you saw were coming out from that lens. So it's a very cool lens. Has special rendering, special character, and I love the Voigtlander look. It's something that you can't reproduce when you have a certain look, right? Okay, let's see. I'm not asking you to review anything you know about, you can't talk about, but do you know when we will get announcement on the new OM Pro mid-range 1080 zoom? You talk about the roadmap, right? You talk about the roadmap. I wish I know more, and I wish I could tell you more. At this moment in time, I don't know anything, and this is a fact. I mean, I know as much as you do, and just by looking at the roadmap at the moment, I don't know anything more than that. Hopefully, I will get some more information in due course, and to know exactly when we should be expecting one. But at this moment in time, I think they're working hard on finalizing a couple of products and for launch later. And I'm pretty sure they're very, very busy at this moment in time after the OM3. In fact, they're still very much involved in the OM3 at this moment in time. They're having all sorts of events around the country, and I'm pretty sure they have the same thing going wherever you are as well, whether in the US or in the Asia. But in the UK, I know that they're having a lot of different events coming up in summer, through the entire summertime, and doing some street walks, some workshops and things like that. So yeah, stay tuned for those, because I may be running some of them. So if you want to join me and do some more photography together, and yeah, stay tuned on OM Systems newsletter, because I should be able to get something out of it. So let's see the final couple of comments then before I call it a day. Ezekiel, it's my EDC and I love it with the kit 12 to 32. That you talk about the GM1, right? Yeah, it just really is so small. I mean, like you, I have this tiny little zoom, and my one is the Olympus version, so my one is the 14 to 42. So not quite as wide as yours, 12 to 32, but it's wide enough, and it has a electronic zoom just like the other one, and it's a little lens, and I have the little Pen F capped on it too. Looks pretty, right? Looks very pretty. And it has a flash. It has a flash. Look at that little flash. I love the flash. This is what everybody's using these days. You know, you go outside, I actually see a lot of people using compact cameras. If I get one of these out, people think that I'm really trendy. I'm trendy. Okay, guys. I will probably have to end today's talk, because Rod is kind of dropped out unexpectedly. Sorry, my fault. Well, not my fault, but my internet's fault. So the connection was lost, and I couldn't continue the stream as normal. It brought to the first portion to an abrupt end, which I have to apologize for that. So if you guys were listening, and sorry about the disruption, and I'll probably write something about that too. And remember the video that I mentioned during the stream earlier, I talked about, I made a video about Kimmy and Jimmy. Some of you, if you're a long time subscriber, you might have seen that video, and I love the video to be. It was so funny to make. I'm gonna try to dig it out and find the link, and I'm gonna put it in the description or in the comment section, so you can actually watch that as well, because it is really funny. And only if you can get the joke, of course. And no offense. I mean, if you guys get upset about me talk about full frame stuff, and well, apologize in advance. But don't forget that I'm also a full frame user as well. But I just trying to make something fun out of it, and I did have fun making that sort of it. If you want to see something like that again, let me know. I will try to think of something. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall speak to you all very soon. And stay tuned on my upcoming video on Friday, I believe, Friday noon. I have a new video coming up, and some more videos I'm actually in the middle of making it, and so hopefully you guys will see that very soon. At the moment, I'm starting to ramp up with my my normal photography job, so I'm gonna get busy with the summertime as well. So it's not that I have a ton of time making videos these days, so I'm just trying to do as much as I can. But I'll try to keep the live stream going as much as I can as well, with if I'm not going away or having other engagements that I have to attend to. And so this stream should go on as usual every Wednesday at 3 p.m. London time. So thank you very much for coming and joining me for this little chat today. And once again, sorry for the disruption earlier, but overall I had fun. I had good fun with talking about Micro Four Third and OM System and Panasonic, and also having some fun with you guys as well. So leave me some comments down below about what you thought about what we talked about today, and we shall talk to you next time. Bye for now. Cheers.